When I first read the University of Oklahoma student essay, the one about biblical gender roles that ended with the instructor being suspended, I did something very on brand for me. I tried to edit it. I treated it like a real student work. I assumed the goal was improvement. I tried to clarify the argument. I tried to tighten the language. I tried to figure out what the writer was really trying to say. And I kept running into the same problem. You can't make something better if the person who wrote it doesn't want it to be better. And that's when it clicked. The terribleness of the piece isn't a failure. It's the point. A lot of people have focused on the argument itself, how incoherent it is, how poorly constructed the ideas are. But what I can't stop thinking about is that the inadequacy of the writing is the point. Because this essay isn't just an essay with ugly ideas. It's an essay that rejects the idea of being good, that you need to try, that persuasion matters, that clarity matters, that craft matters. The real argument of this essay is that as long as you have the power to enforce a belief, there's no point in making something beautiful or even competent or coherent. You don't have to convince anyone. You just have to make them accept it and call it good. I want to be clear. There's a long tradition of bad art or ugliness being used productively or subversively. The Paris Review had an essay a while back that laid out a taxonomy of bad art. Bad art can be deliberate, formal play that actually shows the creator's skills. Leonardo da Vinci's doing caricatures. It can be rebellion against convention, artists like Philip Guston. It can be naive art that reveals something human about how difficult it is to make beauty. And there's another category that matters here too, the grotesque. Artists like Hieronymus Bosch using ugliness intentionally to show chaos, distortion, horror, a moral revelation. Francis Bacon does the same thing in Modern Register: power, violence, authority, unbearable to look at. The ugliness points somewhere. It exposes something. It tells the truth by refusing to comfort. But that Oklahoma essay doesn't belong to any of these traditions. This isn't bad art asking to be interpreted. It's bad art demanding obedience. And that's why it fits in to the whole aesthetics of this political moment. Let's talk about the Mar-a-Lago face. Lots has been written about it. All I'll say here is that face, so puffed and stretched, visibly shaped by medical intervention, it lives in the uncanny valley. It is not youthful. It is not healthy. It is not even aspirational in a conventional sense. It is a face that says, I have money and power to do this, and you have to look at it. Now zoom out. Oval Office, covered in gold filigree, to the point of grotesque excess. The new White House ballroom, same thing. The endless AI-generated slop art celebrating Trump. These things aren't just tacky, they're unpleasant to look at. And the unpleasantness is the point. This is what it looks like when power decides it no longer has to bother with excellence. Some people can get away with ugliness because they have power. They can insist that you call it beautiful and punish you if you don't. This is an aesthetic that doesn't even pretend to aspire to beauty. Photos of a recent Vanity Fair article went viral recently, especially since the photographer did an interview with the Washington Post where he talked about the unsparing nature of his camera. And it's an interesting contrast to what I'm talking about. They were shot in harsh light and you see almost literally warts and all. That's subversiveness. That's intention. He's showing the ugliness under this administration. But what's disturbing is this. That's how those people want to look. It's not an accident. It's part of the project. And these aesthetics aren't just purely visual. They're literally painful. I think about the injection site marks on Caroline Leavitt's lips, the White House spokesman, in the Vanity Fair article. And I think about the Border Patrol's social media posts where ICE raids are turned into content and set to music and framed as ASMR. And I think again about that Oklahoma essay, not just ugly in its writing, but explicitly about inflicting pain on trans people, a defense of bullying. And celebrating that essay, insisting it deserved a good grade, is a celebration of ugliness and aesthetics and morality. And demanding we agree is a form of oppression, coercion, fascism. Now let's address the fact that all of this stuff goes viral. What makes it compelling to watch, even for people who are horrified by it? Why do we talk about it so much? It's not accidental. Edmund Burke, the father of modern conservatism, was obsessed with the sublime. and he understood something unsettling about it. The most powerful form of the sublime isn't beauty, it's terror. No passion, Burke wrote, is so effectual it robs the mind of all its powers of acting and reasoning as fear. As a horror movie fan, this makes sense to me. Horror overwhelms us. And in the context of horror movies or entertainment, it's chosen, it's bounded, it's temporary, it can actually be empowering. But political ugliness and terror isn't. It's ambient, it's constant, it's meant to fascinate and terrorize at the same time. It's fascinating because it terrorizes because it fascinates. We can't look away, and the paralysis is the point, which leaves us with one real refusal. You don't have to ignore this stuff, and you shouldn't, but you don't have to indulge in it either. You don't have to stare endlessly. You don't have to argue on its terms. You don't have to participate in the demand that ugliness be admired. Refusing to indulge is a rebuke, turning your attention to beauty, to truth, to generosity, to craft. That isn't naive. In a culture that insists on ugliness and calls it power, to enjoy things is insurgent. So go make something. Enjoy it. Do art. I'm Anna Marie Cox. I have this YouTube channel, brand new. If you enjoy this and other thoughts on craft, let me know. I'm up to doing other things, including editing. I have a Patreon at Anna Marie Cox. Website, AnnaMarieCox.com. Patreon is patreon.com/third story. And that's for writing workshops and writing sessions. I'm on all the socials. I'm new to this and would really appreciate any feedback. And like I said, go make art.